Hi, I'm Matt Ellefson, founder and CEO of Survive It, and welcome to Fearless Friday. We talk about a lot of topics on Fearless Fridays, and many of you have requested that we talk a little bit about preventive measures to cancer, which I think is great because it's a serious issue. Cancer is a very complex disease, so if you can prevent it from happening in the first place, that's the best thing you can do. And so today offers an opportunity, which I think is probably the single most important thing that you could do at your home from an environmental standpoint to try to prevent cancer from happening to you. And that is radon gas. And I happen to have stage 4 lung cancer. And it is a type of cancer that occurs in non-smokers and relatively younger people. It's a gene mutation called the ELM4 ALK translocation, and it's a fusion of those two genes. They don't really know what causes it, but they suspect that radon gas may be part of the reason for acquiring that disease or that type of gene mutation. So radon gas is very, hits home to me very hard. And there's things that you can do to test for it that are simple, and then you can mitigate it from your home. So let's go to the expert, and I would like to introduce Crystal to you today. Crystal, can you share with us a little bit about your background and why you got involved in radon?
So thanks for having me. I'm Crystal Lytle. I work with Reliant Radon Solutions here in Denver, Colorado. We do testing and mitigation throughout Colorado. I got started a few years ago. Got to work with my best friend. She owns a plumbing company, asked me to start a radon business with her. So I went back, got certified in testing and mitigation, and had no idea really what radon was when I started. I knew it was, something you learned about in science class. It's on the periodic table, but really didn't know what radon was or how it affected people. So I got started attending conferences. I met a beautiful woman here in Colorado who had a brand new house, never smoked a day in her life, 4 kids, beautiful kids, young, and she developed stage 4 lung cancer as well. She got very sick, and when they tested her house, it was 4 times the recommended limit by the EPA, and she ended up passing away. And from that point on, we kind of made it our mission to educate other people about radon and the importance of testing. And I got very involved. I serve on the national board for American Association of Radon Scientists and Technologists. Very involved in a nonprofit organization as well that helps cancer survivors against radon. My goal every day in life is to just educate one more person that radon-induced lung cancer is preventable. So that's kind of how I got started. And radon is a natural occurring radioactive gas. It's colorless, it's odorless, it's tasteless, and it's found all over the United States. It comes from the breakdown of uranium in your soil, and it finds pathways into your home. Radon follows the path of least resistance. So that could be through the cracks in your foundation, through plumbing lines, through foundation seams. So radon is actually found all over the United States. The EPA has broken it down into 3 zones. Zone 1 is the zone where the predicted average indoor level is greater than the 4 picocuries. Zone 2 is the predicted average is anywhere from 2 to 4. And zone 3 is the predictive average is below 2. Unfortunately, again, it's the breakdown of uranium and it's the pathway that the radon follows. So there's really no area in the United States that doesn't have radon. It's just the pathway that it takes. So, we encourage everybody to test their home for radon regardless of where they live, because really the only way to know if you have a radon problem is to test. EPA has a great map that you can go to epa.gov /radon, and that has an interactive map that you can click on your state and just get an idea of what levels are in your area. We know that lung cancer is radon-induced lung cancer. There's about 22,000 deaths a year in our nation. We have about 215,000 deaths a year from lung cancer, and like I said, 22,000 of those are radon-induced lung cancer, which means these people have never smoked a day in their lives, and their home is actually causing the problem. So testing is really inexpensive and it's really easy. There's a couple different ways to test. You can pick up a home test kit. A lot of states have a program where you can get a free test kit, a charcoal test kit that you can leave out in your home for 2 to 7 days, mail it in, get your results, and get an average of what your radon levels are. Again, those can range anywhere from $10 to $50. There's another way you could test. You could hire a certified measurement specialist where they can bring in different approved devices. The National Radon Proficiency Program has a list of approved devices that holds us to a higher standard, so you're using the machines and the equipment properly to get a true accurate number. Our company, we use a continuous radon monitor that we set out in people's basements or the lowest livable area. It takes a reading about every hour. It gives us humidity, it gives us temperature, it gives us the spikes in the levels, so we know what happens, you know, if there's a windstorm or something that's causing your radon levels to grow in that 48-hour period, we're able to track that with a continuous radon monitor. And so after, you know, your 48 hours, you have a good average of what your radon levels are at. So, you know, and that ranges anywhere from about 100, 150, depending on where you live. You know, you're going to have some fluctuations. So what I'd love to say is there is no such thing as an acceptable level. Any radon is a risk. So the EPA has actually set 4 picocuries per liter as their action level. However, the EPA does recommend everything between 2 and 4 should be hopefully mitigated. They recommend mitigation. And just because we have seen so much evidence in the last few years that levels between 2 and 4 are still causing lung cancer, we like to tell everybody that there is really no such thing as a safe level. But the lower you can get it is going to be better for you and your family. To test, like I said, is probably around 100, 150, depending on your area. Your test comes back high, you need to get it mitigated. Mitigation's a different story. It can begin anywhere from around 800 to 1200 for an average mitigation system. But with mitigation systems, the design sometimes gets complicated if you have multiple levels in your house, if you have a crawl space that you would have to treat with, you know, proper vapor barrier, of its own special design that needs to be done to get a proper mitigation system. What happens when we put a mitigation system on is we're basically vacuuming out the radon. We have a fan that we use to continue airflow to pull the radon out. Because radon travels the path of least resistance, we put the fan on and we're continuously vacuuming it out. The fan is like any appliance in your home, so it's got a lifespan between 5 and 10 years. You can always have your system inspected. We recommend every 2 years, kind of in line with the EPA recommending that you retest every 2 years. So if you kind of stay on that schedule, then it's just maintenance. If you're maintaining your system, then you'll be on top of it.
It's relatively inexpensive. Get your home tested and get it tested today. We've provided everything that you need below to try to locate somebody that in your area that's certified and that's an expert in radon gas measurement and mitigation. And so take advantage of that, excuse me, and have your home tested as soon as possible, because your life may depend on it and your family's life may depend on it. So thank you again, Crystal, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And all of you at Survive It, we are your organization. We're an organization of survivors helping patients, and survivors helping survivors, and caregivers helping caregivers, everybody helping everyone. get through a cancer diagnosis. And not only get through the diagnosis, but do things to ensure that it doesn't come back, preventive measures. So please, do what you can to determine if you have radon gas in your home and get it mitigated today. Until next time, I'm Matt Ellefson. Stay strong and live fearless.